Hey YouTube, I'm Kenneth Ryan.
I'm Linz.
And we're back with another exciting episode of Fanfiction Friday. This week is the beginning of February, which is the beginning of Soulmate month.
Yay!
Woo!
Are there gonna be 3 or 4 weeks in
There
this?
are 4
Nice.
weeks of Soulmate month.
So we get 4 weeks of Soulmates.
Wow! So we're going to be starting with The Golden Soulmates by Takara Phoenix. The summary is...
I've definitely read some works from, but not this one. So it's good.
And I don't know if I was like, I don't know if I can't remember what we've read. But the summary. Every shadow hunter is bound to a patron spirit, animal spirit that they can channel. A blessing from the angel. Alec is a dragon, strong and highly respected, and everybody knows not to mess with a dragon's treasure. Clary doesn't because she's still new to this world, and Alec does not appreciate her constantly fawning over his treasure, his parabatai, his soulmate.
I'm not really sure how to pronounce that word.
I've
seen parts of the show.
Right? I have no idea what any of that is.
Parabatai.
So, yeah, the Golden Soulmates.
And there's a bunch of setting the scene stuff, which we'll jump over, because why not?
Yeah, because we don't need to... We can just get to the fic. Do you want me to start? You want to start? What do you want to do?
I can start.
Okay.
You can be Magnus, and I can be Clary, I guess.
Okay.
Because that's who starts talking and stuff first.
Cool.
Clary glared annoyed. She had known the 3 Lightwoods for only 1 week, but she got nothing but hostility from Alec. He kept glaring at her, even growling. And even though she couldn't prove it, but when her sketchbook had caught fire yesterday, it 100% had been Alec's doing. Though she didn't quite understand how that was possible, because he's a dragon.
Yeah, don't... Fire and blood.
Learn stuff. Magnus had just healed Luke. They were at the loft, and Clary was sitting with a very exhausted warlock after bringing him some water. Parentheses, that Magnus had immediately turned into a cocktail.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, character.
Yeah.
Alcohol and magic. That's all he is. And glitter.
And glitter.
Alec and Jace stood aside, talking among themselves in agitated voices. Alec kept glaring at her.
Stop frowning, Biscuit. It'll leave wrinkles, advised Magnus lightly.
I just don't understand why Alec hates me.
Of
Wondered
course.
Clary stubbornly, crossing her arms over her chest. From day 1, he's been nothing but rude to me. He keeps growling at me and even shoving me. Izzy and Jace have been nothing but welcoming and helpful, but Alec looks like he wants to set me on fire or something. Magnus laughed rather loudly at that, shaking his head when Clary's glare intensified.
I'm sorry, Biscuit, but you do know... What do you know about the Lightwoods?
Well, Izzy and Alec's parents took Jason after Jace's father died. Jace told me he saw the whole thing, and that he was taken in by the Lightwoods, replied Clary. So, I don't know. Is he just being a jerk to me because he's being protective of Jace? Because Jace is like a brother to him? No. Jace told me about them being parabatai, whatever that means, sharing a soul. Magnus head aside and refilled his drink.
You need to become more observant, Clary. Did you notice the golden bands on their fingers? The matching golden bands? Jace isn't a Lightwood through adoption, but through marriage. Alexander doesn't like how close you get to his husband.
Oh, grunted Clary.
That's what I'm thinking.
Blinked
Oh.
slowly, but...
You don't know a lot about shadow hunters, do you? Mused Magnus, eyes mischievous.
Not really, offered Clary. I barely got the hang of the whole rune thing and all. Magnus hummed in understanding. Eyes on Jace and Alec in the corner.
Shadow hunters were blessed by an angel. They're naturally stronger and fiercer hunters, you know that. But this strength and those natural instincts come from the angel's blessing. Every shadow hunter has a patron animal spirit with whom they draw strength. A predator.
I still don't really know what you're getting at, sighed Clary, confused.
What do you know about dragons? Not much, I'd imagine, continued Magnus, not minding her. The Lightwoods are a very old and respected line of shadow hunters because their patron spirits are dragons. As you might know from your fantasy movies and such, dragons are highly possessive of their hoard, the treasure they guard.
Yeah, I've seen The Hobbit, nodding very slowly. Wait, Alec is a dragon? But still...
Alec is a dragon. Jace is his treasure, stated Magnus with a mischievous and amused grin. And you are a new intruder who dared to get too close to the dragon's treasure.
Just tell me this is a metaphor, requested Clary, hopefully.
Oh no, honey. I'm being quite literal, chuckled Magnus, sipping his cocktail. Alexander is linked to a dragon's spirit. They manifest in behavior. They give shadow hunters their strength, and like any dragon, Alexander is protective of his treasure. That, however, is more of a metaphor. The classic treasure, it's never been gold or gems. Your fairy tale stories of dragons hoarding treasure and stealing princesses? Well, the princesses were the actual treasure. Dragons have soulmates, and when they first lay eyes on their soulmate, they just know. And grow particularly protective of said soulmate. Their souls are literally tied together. They're two halves of the same soul. The term for that is parabatai. Jace is Alec's parabatai, his soulmate, his treasure. Clary, are you a fucking idiot? Because I can't explain it any more clearly than this. Clary nodded, though she didn't really think she understood what Magnus had just said. He explained it in every way you could. How do you not get it?
He's got a dragon spirit. He's got a soulmate.
He's going to be
kill
protective.
You if you try and touch his soulmate.
Right, that's all this is. He spent a long time explaining that.
Yeah.
So she just sat and waited until they returned to the Institute. She was quiet as she walked behind Jace and Alec, watching them. The two weren't looking at each other and were too quiet, too. It was strange. There was a tension between them. One that had grown every day since she met them.
Magnus said you two are soulmates, piped Clary up. You want to be Alec? You want to be Jace? You want to be Izzy? Who's going to...
I can be Alec. I like Alec.
Okay.
Yes, grunted Alec, irritated.
Another, example of you choosing to be the top.
Well...
in this fic, at least.
Alec is the canonly gay one.
Yep.
That's what I've been telling you since day one.
No, you used a weird word that I never heard before.
Oh, okay.
Clary returning his glare. And Magnus said you're a dragon. You never said that either. Are you a dragon too, Jace?
Well, you have to be Jace.
Golden retriever, said Jace with a grin. A dog's tracking skills, running, hunting, loyalty. Clary just nodded. I'm sure how to reply to that. The rest of the way back was filled with awkward silence. She was kind of glad when they got back to the Institute, and she ran into Izzy. Isabel seemed to like her more than Alec, which really wasn't hard. And if what Magnus had said was true, then maybe Isabel could explain this better to her. Can I ask you something about your brother?
I thought this was a fic about Alec and Jace. I don't care how Clary perceives this.
I'm thinking of bang or something.
Right?
Asked Clary as she followed Izzy to her room.
Depends on the question. Chuckled Isabel, amused, one eyebrow raised.
Why are they referring to her as Isabel? No one calls her Isabel.
Isabel.
Except maybe Magnus.
Yeah, true.
Because he refers to people as their
full names. With the Alexander thing.
Yeah. And also the Jonathan or whatever. Yeah. Does he call Jason?
Clarissa. Yeah, oh god, he uses... Oh yeah, Biscuit.
Magnus said Alec and Jace are married, blurted Clary out. Why did they say that? Weird. Blinking slowly.
I thought that was clear, blinked Isabel.
Blinking.
They're parabatai. Soulmates. Yes, they're married.
But Magnus said Alec's a dragon. I don't understand this soulmate thing, admitted Clary.
Are you dumb?
As the two girls sat down in the bed. So down here, I think we're gonna get some Alec Jace.
Good.
Finally.
God.
Anyways. admitted Clary, looking at her hands as the two girls sat down on the bed. Magnus said that's why Alec doesn't like me, because Jace is his treasure. That sounds awful. I'm sorry, but it sounds like Jace is a thing. That's just... And that Alec is mean to me just because I'm close to Jace? Isabel hummed in understanding.
I never had to explain this before. It's something so fundamental in our society. Okay, so, yes, Alec and I are both dragons, and while not everyone is lucky enough to find their soulmate, some do. Those are called parabatai. They literally share a soul. They're two halves of the same. They complete each other. You fucking idiot! We just had this explanation less than 5 minutes ago.
I get what soulmates mean. I mean, in theory, sighed Clary, but dragons. Treasure.
You know how dragons in myths always have a hoard of gold? A treasure? That's not right. I mean, we do like shiny things, but our most important treasure is our soulmate.
Literally what Magnus said.
Elaborated Isabel patiently. Not like a thing, but like the most precious person we could imagine. Absolutely nothing on this planet would ever be as important as our soulmate. Alec would burn the world if it could save Jace's life. And he doesn't mean to be a dick to you, but you're a total stranger and you get close to Jace. You're a potential threat. Like I said, Jace's safety and well-being are Alec's highest priority. You're an unknown variable, so you could potentially threaten Jace's safety and well-being. It's normal for a dragon, because losing your mate it destroys half of your soul. Many never recover from that. So you have to be patient with a dragon. You have to gain a dragon's trust first before you can just approach their parabatai. You didn't. You dragged Jace into near-death experiences from the day you two met, and most of the time, Alex isn't even close by to be able to protect his mate. So far, you have been a threat to Jace.
What do I do? Asked Clary,
just fucking leave them alone.
I don't want him to hate me, and I don't actually want to get in the middle of anything. Jace and Alec have been arguing about me, right? What should I do? I mean, do I ask Alec's permission to spend time with Jace? Isabel laughed and shook her head.
Jace isn't Alec's property, but maybe instead of constantly just dragging Jace along, you should seek Alec out. Talk to him. Get to know him. Give him the chance to get to know you, so he can see you as something else aside from the girl endangering his soulmate. Instead of running headfirst into a dangerous situation, come to us and make actual plans first to think things through. But maybe do dial back on the physical touching with Jace. You're a very tactile person. Jace isn't. He isn't very comfortable with too much touching, and thus, neither is Alec much of a fan of people just randomly touching Jace.
Line break.
Break. Oh, but it's me again anyways. Yeah. If she endangers you one more time, I will set her on fire, growled Alec. Jake gasped as his parabatai pushed him back onto the bed.
I want to help her.
Then help her through official channels, snarled Alec, eyes red and ablaze, a literal fire burning in them as his inner dragon came closer to the surface. She keeps touching you and stealing you and endangering you. She keeps getting both of us into trouble. Jace stayed perfectly still.
It's not really her fault if he's following her into this.
Right? Again, you don't own him, so, he can do what he wants.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't own him, he doesn't own him, but it's not that he thinks he owns him. It's that it's not really Clary's fault if she's doing something and
Jace goes along.
Hey, I'm gonna help you. And she's like, okay, great.
Right.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, well, they did say.
Kind of her fault, but also no, it's
not. Jace stayed perfectly still on the bed, watching his mate carefully. Not because he was afraid of Alec, never because of that, but because he was curious to see what his mate would do, what Alec needed right now. Jace knew he had been pushing his parabatai. He also, deep down, knew that he had gotten too involved, too invested. Biting his lower lip, he watched Alec.
Tell me what you need, Parabatai, or however you pronounce the stupid word.
I don't fucking know.
The fire in Alec's eyes. I've heard it said, because I have seen this show. Parts of the show.
Well, is this show or movie?
I'm assuming show, because no one likes the movie.
Fair. The movie was pretty tough to get.
And also, I've read some of the book. Anyways, but I don't know. I don't remember how it's pronounced. Anyways, the fire in Alec's eyes died down a little as Alec took a deep breath. He leaned down to kiss Jace, soft and deep. Jace basically melted beneath him. Fingers clawed into the hair at the back of Alec's neck. Alec's hands were on Jace's clothes, pulling them off until Jace was naked beneath him.
Treasure, whispered Alec lowly, kissing down Jace's torso. Precious, mine. Ah, that was what Alec needed. Okay. Grinning amused, Jace reached for the wooden box beneath the bed, pulling it out and lifting it up onto the bed. There was a happy rumbling coming from Alec's chest as he opened the box and went through the literal treasure inside. Slowly, in a process they had done countless times over the years, Alec started decorating Jace. It was like cleaning their weapons, precise movements they had down like clockwork. You can't say that word. Put him in the cubbies. The buildings explode.
Billions of people died.
Billions of people have died. I just don't know if I can trust you to be alone. Pikachu's massive balls. I'm so sorry, I had a moment. I was taken back. First, the very first gift Alec had ever given Jace. A pendant of a golden arrow, head on a leather chain. Alec laid it around Jace's neck, followed by 2 simple gold chains. He put broad bracelets on both of Jace's wrists, golden bands onto his upper arms, golden anklets with rubies, rings, 1 for every finger. Growling softly, Alec licked over Jace's nipples once teasingly before he replaced the regular nipple rings with the golden studs. Oh, so Jace has pierced nipples. Got it.
Apparently.
He also gently replaced the silver studs in Jace's ears with small golden rings. Tilting his head, Alec slowly slipped a solid golden cock ring over Jace's dick.
That doesn't seem like it worked very well.
Oh, no.
Solid? Don't they need to be flexible?
A little. Ooh.
In order to get it on.
Making the blonde whimper softly. Maybe they'd like...
Gold is kind of a flexible metal, so it might be able to, like, solid gold.
Yeah, it's soft, so maybe it moves a bit. Making the blonde whimper softly, leaning back, Alec admired his mate. No, growled Alec. Bad puppy doesn't get to come. Keeps running off. Needs a leash.
This is wild.
The first half didn't matter, and this is like, where are we? Happy Soulmate Month.
We'll find something cuter.
Jace blinked and blushed. This is not cute for you. He's blinking and blushing.
He's gonna be a dog boy in a minute. Like,
Ow, ow, or bark, bark, or something. I don't know. Jace blinked and blushed as Alec actually added a golden collar with a long chain. Mm-hmm. The chain firmly wrapped around Alec's hand, in his control. Licking his lips, Jace leaned up to kiss his mate, cock achingly hard, but bound by the cock ring. Mm-hmm. 1 ring to rule them all, and in the darkness bind them.
He's got like 10 other rings too.
Alec growled, a gluttonous and pleased sound, as he took in his mate, Jace, adored by expensive jewels and gold, looking like the treasure he was. You're mine, whispered Alec, pleased and bent over Jace. The fire returned to his eyes. Jace watched in awe as Alec's teeth sharpened to fangs, black thorns
Dangerous.
Emerging from
Horns,
his forehead.
not thorns.
Oh, yeah, horns emerging from his forehead, and then the wings unfolded, black but with dark blue fins spanning between. Alec's wings were massive. Of course they were. Large enough to carry him. Is he gonna fuck a dog?
They can't transform completely.
Alec ran greedy hands over Jace's chest. Jace shuddered at the contact, especially when Alec grasped his wrists and used the broad bracelets, shackles, to tie Jace to the golden frame of the bed.
The bed is gold too?
He is a dragon.
Yes.
He hoards
but
treasure.
They said they like shiny things, but their treasure is their soulmate.
Well, I guess he also has a actual treasure plus a soulmate.
I guess.
Jace arched his body, displaying himself even more for his dragon, making Alec purr, pleased. Not every shadow hunter could physically channel their patron spirit. Most just channeled the animal's powers. None could fully turn into the animal. They weren't shapeshifters like werewolves, but some, the stronger and more well-trained ones, could adapt some of the physical traits. Alec could call forth the wings and horns, but Jace could channel his guardian too. Grinning shyly, Jace concentrated, and the next moment, Alec's purring increased because Jace was sporting his golden blonde floppy ears and the fluffy puppy tail. Oh, what? Oh no, I didn't realize this was what it was gonna be. This is borderline furry porn.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh no! We're too invested too. We're halfway through. Oh no. Oh my god, not very intimidating for a fight, but definitely working for his mate in the bedroom. Pretty precious puppy, whispered Alec, voice dark and filled with adoration.
Big, strong dragon, whispered Jace back, leaning up, trying to get a kiss.
Oh my god.
Alec grinned, Jace's bound state not allowing for much movement. But when his parabatai whined softly, Alec couldn't deny him, so he leaned down to seal Jace's lips. He loved Jace tied up and collared. Jace tied up and collared couldn't run into dangerous or deadly situations.
Oh,
Jace tied up and collared would stay right here with Alec, where he would be safe.
Ooh, that's creepy. That's too much.
Right now he's a dragon.
You are my treasure, not the little foxes.
You're getting growlier.
Well, every line is a growl.
Yeah.
Growled Alec, kissing down Jace's chest. Mine. Alec reached for the lube they also stored in the treasure chest.
Okay.
Convenient. Where everyone keeps their lube. I know when I'm about to engage in coitus,
well,
I open my treasure chest.
They're always putting on the jewelry and stuff
right.
every time they're having
That's
sex.
true.
So
yeah. This is a ritual for them. So it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Lubing his fingers up, Alec started prepping his mate. Jace gladly spread his legs far and wide, accepting Alec. A gentle wing reached out to brush against Jace's cheek, while Alec worked 2 fingers into his blonde. All the while, Alec licked and kissed over Jace's 6-pack and his nipples. Does he have 6 nipples like a real puppy? Maybe more?
Maybe. Some vaginas.
Maybe more. Okay, Grimsby, thanks. Okay, thanks. Taking the piercings between his teeth and tugging. Not to hurt, but just enough to make Jace whimper. Alec sucked a mark on Jace's hip, just above the Parabatai ruin, where Alec had marked Jace as his years ago. Alec added a 3rd and 4th finger, working Jace open and teasing him. He knew Jace would already be able to take him. Jace liked it when it burned a bit, liked being sore afterward as a reminder. But it was far more fun to have Jace writhe beneath him, whimpering and whining and begging. How does the tail work with an asshole?
I mean,
is it like right above?
The tailbone.
Which is that's like right above,
yes.
Right? Okay. I'm just trying to think of the anatomy. Well, I don't know how furries have sex.
It'd come out of the spine, the base of the spine, the tailbone.
Okay, all right.
Tail.
Okay, I'm just wondering, because I don't know how furry porn works. This is my first real dip into Yiff right now. This is an educational experience. It was a side of Jace that only Alec had ever gotten to see. A side only Alec would ever get to see.
Alec, come on, please. Whined Jace,
Please,
bucking up
queen.
into Alec.
What? Asked Alec, curiously, tilting his head and licking up Jace's neck. What do you want?
You! Howled Jace, floppy ears flat against his skull as he begged. Please, Alec, I need you!
You do? Asked Alec, feigning surprise. It didn't seem that way in the past few days, when you ran off with the fox without
So
me,
that's Clary's
doing
spirit
reckless
animal,
things
even
without
though
me.
She doesn't even know, so he randomly knows.
Telling me I didn't try enough, like I wouldn't literally burn down the world for you. Jace bit down on his lips and turned his head to avoid looking at Alec.
I'm sorry, Alec. I really am. I'm sorry I ran off without you. I didn't want to endanger you.
Don't bullshit me, growled Alec in warning, stilling his movement inside of Jace.
I knew you wouldn't agree, so I didn't tell you, admitted Jace, glaring a little. I'm sorry, Parabatai. I just really needed to help her. She only has her mother, and now she's gone. But unlike me, there's a chance her parent is still alive. I want to help her. I need to help her. Alec heaved a sigh as he started fingering her again. He knew that. He knew his loyal, beautiful mate wanted to help. He could see why Clary would remind him of himself. Sealing Jace's lips in a deep, gentle kiss, Alec pulled his fingers out of his mate and grasped Jace's thighs.
No more, demanded Alec as he positioned himself at Jace's hole. No more running off into danger without me. No. I'd rather run into the burning building by your side than lose you and never know if I could have saved you if I were at your side. Do you understand?
Yes, whispered Jace, kissing Alec's cheek. Yes, I promise. I'm sorry.
Good puppy, praised Alec pleased as he was fully seated inside his parabatai. My good puppy.
This is taking pet play to a whole new level.
Oh, God.
Anyways. Yours, agreed Jace with hooded eyes. My heart, soul, and body. Yours. Alec growled, pleased by that, and started nibbling Jace's neck. He took it slowly thrusting into Jace while kissing every inch of skin he could reach. Is he still fingering him, or did he at his dick?
I don't know. No, his dick is inside.
When did he do
He's
that?
fully inserted. It was a line like two lines ago.
Oh, I didn't pay attention. Okay.
Yeah, no,
He
his dick's in there.
He loved worshipping his mate, adoring him, showing how much he appreciated every little thing about his parabatai. One of the two.
Right.
It was the best way to make Jace melt beneath him, because Jace, well, he loved feeling cherished. For the first 10 years of his life, he had never been enough, never been good enough, always been put down or punished for failing. Alec praised him, made him feel loved and cherished and adored.
I love you, murmured Alec, as he started thrusting sharper. I love you with every fiber of my heart. You're my soulmate. I adore you. It'd destroy me if something happened to you.
I know, whined Jace, arching into Alec, tugging on his bonds, longing to touch. Alec ran his hands up Jace's arms. He had no intentions of untying him. Jace was good when he was tied to their bed and at his mercy. Beautiful. All his. Only his. Possessive much.
Jesus.
Alec growled and spread his wings wide as his orgasm came closer.
Oh.
He thrust harder and deeper. Coming down hard, he filled his mate. Ew. Alec,
cream
please,
pie.
begged Jace, bucking up with his hard cock.
No, growled Alec, one eyebrow raised. Little puppy knows the rules,
Why does
right?
it get so weird?
Jace blushed and glared.
Naughty puppies don't get to come.
Naughty puppies don't get to come, agreed Alec pleased, pecking Jace's lips. Before pulling out of Jace, Alec grabbed a nicely sized golden butt plug and lubed it up. It was a princess plug.
I don't know what that means,
with a
but
large
okay.
ruby at the base that looked absolutely beautiful when poking out of Jace's hole. Alec knew that from experience. He truly loved decorating his treasure. Clench down, puppy, ordered Alec as he slowly pulled out. "Yes, that's it. Good boy."
Oh, God.
Whoa, I don't want to keep going.
I mean, they're done having sex.
I know, but... Carefully, he eased the plug in to lock his cum into his mate. Where's this going? Smiling pleased, Alec admired his golden decorated soulmate. Golden cock ring stopping the angry red hard cock from coming. The fucked out expression on Jace's face was very pretty, the flush complimenting him, and the red jewel nestled between Jace's cheeks was also gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Do you mean the puckered entrance concealed within? One of my favorite descriptions I've ever read, ever in anything.
Which one was that?
That was the one we read with Bethany.
That the Harry Potter one?
Yeah, that was the one we read at Bethany when I was still living at my parents'. That's how old that is, but it's so iconic. Alec removed the shackles from the headboard of the bed, instead adjusting them so Jace's hands were tied together. Tilting his head, Alec tied the chain to the headboard instead, tugging a little on the collar to make a point. "Good puppy," whispered Alec, kissing Jace's neck. "Won't run off again." Is the reason they speak in broken English because of the furry thing?
Yes.
Is that like a furry thing?
Possibly, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if you know. Comment down below if like broken English is a furry thing. I genuinely am curious.
Probably. Remember when Red was a stupid Pokemon?
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, that is a furry thing. I forgot that one had furry elements too. That one is a nightmare. That one's a fever dream. Anyway, Jace rolled onto his side, pulling one leg up a little, showing off the jewel between his cheeks, and giving his mate a coy look.
Like listening to this one.
Maybe.
Well, maybe it's just whenever there's something they know of. I don't
maybe.
know. Who knows? Anyways, I interrupted you.
We're at the dialogue.
Always good for my dragon.
"My beautiful treasure,"
okay, great,
sighed Alec contently, and curled together behind Jace, draping his wing over them both. "No stranger gets to steal my treasure, not even helpless little foxes." Jace grinned, amused to himself.
"The little fox won't steal me, Alec, and you know that. I'm all yours, as you are mine. Our souls are one. You just need a chance to get to know her." Alec huffed at that and decided not to answer it. Deep down, he did know that Jace was right. He had been hostile with Aileen?
Oh.
Aileen.
I don't know.
Is it pronounced like Elaine? No, if it's
Elaine. I like Elaine. It sounds like a name then.
I mean, but yeah.
But yeah, it's literally Aline, so...
I'm assuming it's an actual character in the story that I just don't remember.
I don't remember that character at all.
When she had first befriended Izzy all those years ago and thus started to hang out around Jace, until she gained Alec's trust and friendship. Then he had no problem with her being alone with Jace anymore. He always needed to make sure the stranger was not a threat to his parabatai. And so far, Clarissa Fairchild had not done a single thing to prove that she was in any way or shape responsible, reasonable, or could do anything without throwing a temper tantrum if it didn't immediately happen the way she wanted it.
Oh, well.
That was not the kind of company Jace needed, because the blonde was already reckless enough on his own accord. Alex sighed as he closed his eyes and buried his nose in Jace's hair. Do they still have the wings and the ears and stuff?
Yes.
Or are they done with that?
Well, he's covering them with a wing, so yeah, they're still furried out.
He couldn't risk losing Jace to the recklessness of someone else. It was already hard enough fighting against Jace's recklessness. Alec would never forget the moment he had met his parabatai, the feeling of his soul soaring as it connected with its other half. To imagine that in reverse, losing the other half of his soul, it was mortifying. Flashback.
His mother and father had told him that an orphan would come and live at the Institute. Jonathan Christopher Wayland. Alec was excited. He mainly just had Izzy. There were others around their age, sure, but he wasn't really close to them. He wasn't very good at being social. Isabel was. She made friends with everyone and everyone adored her. So Alec guessed it would be the same as always. The new kid would befriend Izzy and hang out with Alec by association.
Whoa, we're on the same side. Alec shook himself, and then his eyes widened in mortification. He'd been so distracted by his frustrating thoughts that he had accidentally nearly shot a blonde boy. Alec paused and dropped his bow, eyes widening even more. The blonde boy had a cocky grin on his lips, and his eyes... Alec tilted his head and stepped closer. They were blue, bright blue, but one of them had a corner of gold. Golden treasure. Alec's instincts flared up, and without meaning to, he summoned his wings. That happened sometimes. He wasn't really good at this, controlling his inner dragon. Dad promised him he would get better at it, but so far it was pretty hard for Alec. The blonde in front of him startled and took a step back, and, most likely also instinctual as a reaction to seeing Alec's horns and wings, showed off his golden blonde floppy ears and a bushy tail. They looked like from a golden retriever. They looked cute. Golden. Golden fur, golden hair, golden as eye, golden retriever. A real, true treasure. Alec's treasure.
My treasure, growled Alec without thinking on it. Once his words caught up with him, Alec blushed and his eyes widened in embarrassment. The blonde stared at him in stunned silence for a long moment. His tail was wagging slowly.
I'm Jonathan Wayland, started the dog-spirited shadow hunter slowly.
I'm Alec. Lightwood, replied Alec. I'm sorry, I didn't...
You're a dragon, stated the other boy, and tilted his head. I read about dragons. Griffins, unicorns, those who can channel the ancient spirits. They have soulmates.
Parabatai, nodded Alec, blushing brightly. A soulmate to love, a treasure to protect. And in that moment, the moment Jace looked at him with large, curious, and vulnerable eyes,
Dragon Jake Long.
Alec knew he would always protect Jace, because someone had hurt Jace, clearly hurt him, and no one had loved him, not the way he deserved it. The way he looked at Alec in that moment, with longing and hope, like he wanted that, wanted to be loved and to be protected. Alec knew that Jace was his, and that he was Jace's, that he would always do everything for this boy. Over the following years, they became inseparable, best friends, and when they were barely teenagers, they shared their first kiss, an innocent peck on the lips, with both of them blushing. They started to prepare for the Parabatai ceremony after that. Just because one had a soulmate didn't necessarily make them Parabatai. For that, the other party had to accept the soul bond, and in the ceremony, they fully sealed it. More sacred than marriage, more permanent. Many who had a soulmate were not romantically involved with them. They were only best friends. A Parabatai ceremony cemented the bond and made it a two-way street. Very rarely, soulmates tried to become Parabatai even without being in love. Their fathers had, and it had broken the bond because Robert wasn't in love with his soulmate. It had broken something in Robert, and Alec knew that that was the reason Alec never met Jace before. That Robert and Michael had drifted that far apart. It was a horrible thing to imagine. To not see Jace for over 10 years. Alec couldn't imagine that, would never be able to imagine that. And thankfully enough, he never would have to. Because he loved Jace with all of his heart, and Jace loved him just as much. They were a perfect match, the perfect set of Parabatai, warriors sharing a soul, destined soulmates, a dragon and his mate, his treasure, his second half to complete him. Flashback end.
Alex smiled, pleased, as he leaned down to bite Jace's ass cheek, making the blonde howl and jump up. Jace turned to glare at him as he sat up on all four. But honestly, Alec wasn't feeling very sorry as he looked at his mate, still decked out in gold and with the princess plug poking out between his cheeks. Ugh. Slowly, Alec started to unchain Jace and to take off the golden decoration. You forgot one, pointed Jace out, when Alec already closed the chest again. He wiggled his still plugged butt for emphasis.
Nope. Removed all I meant to remove. Jace rolled his eyes, but accepted the plug. He did like to keep Alec's cum inside for as long as possible, and the plug kind of made him feel pretty for his mate. He wrapped his fingers around the golden arrowhead pendant he still wore. It was the head of the arrow Alec had nearly shot at Jace the first time they had met. Alec had covered it in gold and given it to Jace. Once both of them were dressed, they made their way to the kitchen, where Isabel and Clary were already sitting, with a butt plug in, holding in cum in his ass. Oh, boy. So I'm guessing you already have some ridiculous and dangerous plan for today, drawled Alec. He wrapped a possessive wing around Jace and glared. Delighting a bit in how Clary stared at the wing, Jace huffed and leaned in to kiss Alec's cheek, a silent warning to play nice. Sighing in frustration because he could never deny his parabatai, Alec lowered his wing.
I thought we could decide that together, offered Clary softly. Alec raised both eyebrows, earning smug looks from Isabel and Jace. Omake.
What does that mean?
It's kind of like a end credit scene.
Okay.
Didn't you ask that last time?
Yep, I'm gonna ask every time I see it, I'm sure.
Probably.
Accepting Clary and her reckless endangerment of Jace became easier after learning she was his sister. Oh, spoilers, I guess. There was no way Alec could keep pushing Jace's family away, because that made her part of Jace, part of his happiness, and that was what Alec guarded. She still annoyed him with her blatant disrespect for the Shadow World and their traditions and customs, and he still occasionally puffed smoke at her to make her shut up. But mainly they had reached a kind of ceasefire situation, a tentative friendship, although Alec didn't want to name it that. They both loved Jace, and he could respect that. He could respect the fierce way in which Clary loved and wished to protect those she loved. And then the reveal that Clary and Jace carried extra angel blood. Angel blood that gave Clary the ability to draw runes that no one else had ever seen. But Jace? Oh, Jace. Jace glowed.
Okay.
The first time Alec got to see it, he was completely overwhelmed. Jace glowed pure golden, eyes shining, and like a liquid gold, every single rune on his body glowed in bright golden light. He had always been Alec's golden boy, from his fur to his hair and eyes, but this was just ridiculous. Never would Alec have thought his parabatai could look any more royal, any more golden and precious than like the treasure he was.
Alec, grunted Jace with a frown as he was thrown over his soulmate's shoulder.
No, grunted Alec, patting Jace's butt. You literally just glowed golden all over. I need to bring my shiny, precious treasure to my den. The girls will be able to deal with whatever end of the world will come next. You are mine right now and for the unforeseeable future. Jace snorted, amused and settled in, allowing his dragon to carry him off to their den. The end.
Okay.
Well, that was...
Interesting.
That was The Golden Soulmate by Takara Phoenix. Suddenly furry. I imagine it might have been in the tags.
I mean, kind of. It does say dog boy Jace at one point in there.
I didn't think that meant furry. I thought it meant personality traits like a puppy.
Yeah, kind of.
I've been hoodwinked.
Bamboozled.
That said it wasn't the worst.
No.
But, like, I was tricked. If you guys enjoy Soulmate Month, leave a comment down below. If you have a fic you'd like us to read on the show, you can also comment that. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. We have awesome new Fanfiction Fridays every Friday on this channel. And next week we'll read another Soulmate fanfiction, so join us then.
Maybe a fluffy one, or an angsty one, or a, I don't know, another smutty one. Who knows?
Who knows?
Something we can...
So until next time, stay awesome, read more smut. Bye!